Hello, my name is Ramon Bassett, the host, along with CyberConnect producer Brendan Lembrecht. I want to thank the people who listened to our first episode. It was exciting, and I look forward to many more episodes. So over the next few episodes, I want to introduce you to the Current Technologies team of experts and what their focus is, along with how we work together to design unique solutions for our clients. Today's topic is on access control and how multi-tenant and luxury apartment communities benefit from incorporating this technology at their properties.
Absolutely, Ramon. One of the topics we hear from property management companies is how they can assure their tenants that they are safe and secure while living in their properties. Our guest today, Ramon, is Tony Dahlin. He's the Executive Vice President of Sales and Access Control Specialist here at Current Technologies. He brings years of experience of providing physical security within the commercial space, along with the state, local, and education markets.
Hey, Tony. Welcome to CyberConnect, and thank you for joining me.
Awesome. Good to be here, Ramon. Excited to be on just the second episode of this podcast. So, yeah, I'm excited.
That's awesome. All right. So to start, why don't you give our listeners a quick background of yourself, your experience, and why organizations want to do business with Current Technology?
Yeah, so my background when it comes to especially the security space is pretty extensive. I've basically been doing it my entire life. Our family has owned a locksmith business in the city of Chicago since the mid 80s. My father had worked there since the early 70s. And so I kind of grew up around, keys and locks and doors and this, the concept of, access control from its very genesis and most simple level being a key all the way up through as technology has progressed through electronic access control in those systems. So really been doing this, since I was in the 8th grade.
Wow.
It's a very, very familiar area for me.
Okay, great. And yeah, you cut your teeth in this arena.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why would organizations want to do business with Current Technologies, especially in the access control space?
Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to run into Current Technologies through the professional arena. So they had brought me on to do some consulting on a large access control project with some product that I was very familiar with. And immediately I was able to see that this was an organization, a company that knew what they were doing. They were really concerned first and foremost about the customer's experience, making sure they had the right solution that met their needs. And I hit it off very well with the team here, and I'm very much a people person, and it was kind of right in line with my values and the things that I find important when working with customers and clients. And so, I think anybody who engages doing business with us is going to have a great experience, and they can be confident that they're getting the right solution for their particular organization, not only for what they want to accomplish today, but we really try and make sure that we're laying a foundation that will kind of follow through with them as they grow and as their organization grows. So
right, and that's why I thought you'd be the perfect guest to explain how incorporating an effective access control solution in that multi-tenant luxury type apartment community and how that will set their properties apart from others, their competition.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So the first thing is when you meet with a property manager about upgrading their access control solution, what type of systems have you seen them already have, and what are the common limitations those have?
Yeah, being from my background in the city of Chicago and working with a lot of property management companies, a lot of building owners in that space, I've seen pretty much everything you can imagine when it comes to what what buildings and property managers are using. So we run up against some people who are really just still distributing physical keys.
Wow.
And that's kind of, they give their tenants a key to the main areas of the building. They use that key to get in the main door, and then they have a separate key that gets them into their apartment or into their condo or whatever the structure is. And then we've seen, you'll see in a lot of these buildings where they have an intercom system, and sometimes they have a keypad on there, and they can press a code, and sometimes it's one code that everybody in the whole building shares. And so I've seen that being used, and then back, and then as kind of, you kind of continue up that progression where I've seen, individual key, PIN numbers to be used. I've seen key cards like proximity access control. We've seen whole connected smart home environments where, they're using their cell phones and they're using the same fob or cell phone access for the main common area doors as they do for their own apartments. So we really, when we're meeting with people, we kind of see everything.
Okay. Yeah, so now, what would you say would be the top 3 security concerns that a property manager has?
Yeah, I think the first is just kind of the physical security, like the immediate access into the building. That's got to be your first line of defense. Is it's in maybe the actual physical structure of the doors are easily compromised or easily accessed, or they have an antiquated system where they have maybe common area doors on timers, so mail people or delivery people can get in during business hours, and then it kind of locks up after that. But I think the physical kind of perimeter security is the first thing that we see a concern with that gets addressed first. So that would be number 1. Number 2, I think it's who has access. Let's say a lot more than I would care to admit, I've seen where, locks haven't been changed or access to the card access control system isn't available to anybody who's still on site, maybe a board member for a condo association or whatever. So they haven't deleted any fobs in maybe months or years. And so they really don't know who has access to the property. And I kind of make a joke that's really not that funny, but it's like, one of the questions that I like to ask is, can you tell me exactly how many people and who they are that has access to this building? Because, a lot of times people ask for another fob because, they're in a new relationship and they give it to their boyfriend, or, their uncle just got out of jail and he needs a place to crash. And so, they get access to that building and then it never gets revoked. So I think physical security, number 1. Number 2 is who has access to the building. And then I think the other thing that they struggle with or that they're concerned with is, when something goes wrong, how do we find out what happened? Like, how do we know who got in or whose fob was used or what time that happened? Because things come up missing or Amazon packages go missing or, an apartment or a condo gets broken into and they don't really have any way to track how that person gained access to the building.
Right, yeah, those seems, and when you don't think about it, there's a lot more people on the property than live there.
Absolutely.
And if you actually start going down that road, you're like, okay, so
yeah.
So now, as many of you know, we're here in Illinois. And so in Illinois, there's a legislation that is set to go into effect next year that would essentially allow anyone to trespass on private property without any repercussions like being arrested or removed from the property. The most is they can just write a little ticket, but they can't do anything.
Right.
So knowing this, how can access control play a part in protecting tenants?
I think it gets back to some of those concerns that we just talked about. I think access control, that having that first line of defense in having your perimeter doors secured and only accessible by known persons, right? That you know exactly who has access to the building, and there's nobody that can kind of breach that security, at least easily, and then kind of take up residence. We see that a lot in the Chicagoland area, where people are looking to come in from out from the cold, and they'll take up residence in people's vestibules or hallways, and that can lead to some bigger issues, some concerns, not to mention how attractive it is to live in a certain building if that becomes an issue. So I think that's the first line of defense, right? Is, let's tighten up that security. Let's give people ways to access their building easily in a way for property management or the condo boards or whoever is in charge of the system to be able to add and delete personnel, quickly, effectively, easily, and without it being a big issue.
Yeah, so for the people who really need it and are supposed to be there, it should be very easy and streamlined, but those we don't want there, that's it.
A lot of times in some of these organizations or buildings, you have long tenured tenants, so it's not like a business where people are using the system day in and day out. So, who's in charge of actually adding a fob or deleting a fob, or gaining access or revoking access, and then how quickly can that be done? How easily can that be done? Our property managers are busy, right. And do they have to take a trip to the building in order to do that, or can they do it remotely, or maybe right even from their cell phone? So we like to think about all of those things and then be able to deploy the correct solution for what the needs are of the organization.
Right. Yeah, that's important, and that leads right into our last question: is what can a property manager who engages with us expect on how we determine the right solution for them? So if they hear this and they're like, I gotta talk with Ramon and Tony and Current Technologies, but what can they expect from us?
Yeah, and this gets back to why I love our company, and why being on the sales side of our organization is actually a lot of fun, is because we have a customizable solution. So we are manufacturer agnostic. So we don't say like, hey, this is the security system or the access control system that we sell, and this is the video camera system that we sell, and this is the type of IT security or IT products that we sell, and then we force those products into an environment. We don't do that. We carry several lines of different manufacturers and different technologies in the access control space. Same with the video space, same in the IT space. And so we're able to come alongside our clients and look at where they are, where they want to be 5 and 10 years from now, and then create a customized solution to meet their needs today and tomorrow. And I think that is the biggest thing that I can say. So, if you're looking for high tech, if you're looking to move into that smart home environment and be able to take a step in that direction, but maybe right now you only have funds to do your perimeter security, we can help you with that.
So they don't have to worry about cookie cutter solutions and or pressure to get this one thing.
Yep. And we can help them scale. Yeah. Whether it's starting with one property and getting one unified solution across all of their properties, down the road,
right.
Man, it becomes nice and easy for property managers if they're dealing with one access control system, one intercom system, one video system, and we can help them learn how to navigate that system, make changes, pull the logs and the records or the video or whatever it is that they need. We get to become a kind of a trusted advisor, right. And come alongside them and make sure that they have a seamless, easy, pleasant experience with this technology.
Yeah, that's great, and I agree. Obviously, that's why I enjoy this company as well. So, Tony, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Cyber Connect. Episode 2, we'll look back at this, and the first guest is going to be Tony.
Awesome.
And for bringing your understanding, expertise, and insight when it comes to access control solutions.
Thanks, Ramon. Thanks, guys.
So if you'd like to learn more about access control, or you'd like to schedule a discovery meeting to have a conversation about your safety and security goals, challenges, current access control solution, please give me a call. It's 630-317-5657, or you can email me at rbassett@currenttech.net. You also can enjoy my weekly technology videos that I produce that gives some good overall kind of resources for all things technology. You can follow me on LinkedIn and YouTube at #ITYouCanThriveOn. As I say goodbye, I want to thank our producer, Brennan Lambrecht, and our sponsor, Current Technologies. Until next time, be safe.